Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us today. Topping our news today at noon, after years of back and forth, Manatee County commissioners are expected to vote on the massive Aqua by the Bay project. The board can, of course, either approve or deny those plans later today. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from Bradenton, where the meeting is underway. Jess?
Good afternoon, Scott. The room inside the building here is absolutely packed. There are nearly 60 people signed up to talk in front of the Board of Commissioners today and speak their mind about this nearly 2-mile stretch of land along El Conquistador Parkway in Manatee County. So far this morning, we've heard from the team of developers saying they focused on the two biggest community concerns, building height and environmental impacts. There is now no variable buffer for the project, saying they will design the Aqua by the Bay project around the code in the comprehensive plan. Now, developers say a wall will be built 194 feet away from the mangroves and shoreline to separate the development and natural resources, saying the project then will not affect fishing, mangroves, or seagrass. Now, as far as building height, developers address that, saying the 4 tallest buildings proposed will sit between 95 and 145 feet high, and they will be at least 3,700 feet away from any home. Now, we've yet to hear from any citizens today. However, they did make their voices heard outside of the building before the meeting this afternoon. They were protesting to have their voices heard. Now, right now, the commissioners are asking questions to the developers, of course, answering them later today. The citizens will get their chance to have their voices heard, and again, a vote is expected to take place a little later this afternoon. Reporting live in Manatee County, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you so much for that update. New this afternoon, Sarasota police once again arresting a drug dealer who they say was targeting day laborers looking to work in downtown Sarasota. Undercover detectives arresting 45-year-old Calvin Butler of Bradenton. Detectives say he was coming to Sarasota to sell cocaine, opioids, and also supply his customers with syringes. In a search, police found various prescription bottles with controlled substances, bags of cocaine, and more than $1,800. Police say they arrested Butler in April for similar charges, but he was able to bond out of jail and do it again, something they call surprising.
Well, Calvin Butler was living in the city of Bradenton, and he would travel to downtown Sarasota, and he would travel not only with his drugs but also with needles and syringes. So he would not only sell the drugs to individuals, but he would also sell the means to use the drugs as well, which is not something our officers see all the time. But he was coming downtown, and his big area was downtown Sarasota, and he was targeting the day laborers that work downtown.
Detectives are calling Butler a big mover and shaker in the local drug dealing business. New at noon, firefighters in Northport are working to contain a mulch fire. The fire igniting overnight along Joe Jeff Street in Northport Estates area. That street north of Tropicare Boulevard is closed to traffic until further notice. Smoke could be seen along I-75 between Sumter Boulevard and Toledo Blade Boulevard. Firefighters say the flames can smolder for days, and the area has flared up in the past. Hundreds lined up in Northport this morning to receive their very own specialized glasses for the solar eclipse. The line had been around the corner at the Northport Library since about 8 o'clock this morning to receive them, and within the first 13 minutes, about 200 pairs were given away. All of the glasses are gone at this point. Northport Library was the last library in Sarasota County to have a supply.
To see that many people interested in science or STEM programs and of those ages. And they were pleased, they were grateful. Some of them that were way at the tail of the line felt that they weren't going to get them, but they were able to get them.
Again, the glasses are completely sold out. The solar eclipse, again, set for Monday, and Florida will see a partial eclipse. And meteorologist John Scalzi joins us now with First Alert Weather. And John, we're going to see about 80% here, right?
About 80%, and it looks like we'll probably have a few more clouds around on Monday than we've seen over the last couple of days at 2:51, which is when the maximum eclipse will occur. Yeah, there are other ways to see the eclipse without actually directly looking at it or having the special glasses. So, if you want to get your children involved in that sort of thing and you happen to be with them on that day at that hour, you can use little shoebox cameras that they make, that you can make, even just take a piece of paper and punch a little teeny hole, poke a hole in the center of it and hold it up and look at the shadow that it produces, and you'll be able to see the eclipse very well. Yeah, I mean, that's what Sir Isaac Newton did, and he didn't have the glasses, you know. So I know that those glasses are becoming scarce and hard to find. So if you don't have a pair, don't let that stop you from enjoying the moment. It's going to be fun. Yep. We are looking at some pretty quiet conditions across our region. The Van Wezel webcam put into motion shows a few of those fair weather clouds that built. And we are looking at a general westerly wind which will push most of those clouds into inland areas where the best chance of rain will be. We have a chance of a sprinkle or shower along the coast over the next hour or so, but I tell you, it's going to be hard to find too much activity. Satellite view not showing a whole lot going on, and radar showing only a little bit of drizzle around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor currently. Much better coverage in inland areas already at this hour. We'll talk about the forecast for you coming up in just a few. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. More fallout today over President Trump's contentious news conference yesterday from Trump Tower in New York. The president is reverting back to his Saturday statement that both sides were to blame for the deadly weekend violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, noting that there were also good people on both sides. Republicans and Democrats are calling out white supremacists and neo-Nazis, saying there is no comparison to the other protesters, despite what the president has asserted. The response is even causing some Republicans themselves to distance themselves from the president's remarks and the hateful groups he's credited with emboldening.
There's no good KKK member. There's no nice neo-Nazi. Racism, bigotry, it has no place in the Republican Party. There is no home here. We don't want your vote. We don't support you.
More business leaders are also distancing themselves from the president. So far, 6 executives have now resigned from the president's manufacturing council. Here at home, the president's remarks are getting mixed reaction from local leaders of both parties. Local Democrats and Republicans sounding off on the president's comments.
Disbelief. You know, there is no moral equivalency between a side that stands for racism and hate and a side that opposes it. Those are not morally equivalent.
It's unfortunate that the episode this past weekend erupted into violence, and I do think both sides, even the local police chief said that both sides kind of spurred on that violence.
For more reaction on President Trump's remarks, you can log on to our website, mysuncoast.com, and look for this story. Efforts are being made to stop a white supremacist from speaking at the University of Florida. The university is denying a request by a group headed by white supremacist Richard Spencer to rent space on the campus for a September event. Spencer is the head of the National Policy Institute. UF's president made the decision after assessing risks to the campus following last weekend's violence in Charlottesville. He calls Spencer's racist rhetoric repugnant and counter to everything the university and this nation stands for. He also says although UF is dedicated to free speech and public discourse, the First Amendment does not require risk of imminent violence to students. Meanwhile, a former president is making history on social media. Former President Barack Obama now has the most liked tweet in history. Following the violence in Virginia Saturday, the former president tweeted a picture of him smiling at a group of children from different racial backgrounds, accompanied by a quote from Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa. He sent 2 other tweets later, but this one got the most response. And as of today, it's been retweeted more than 1 million times and has 3 million likes. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a national memorial is vandalized in our nation's capital, why police are calling the crime a common occurrence. Plus, a health risk many women don't keep an eye on, the dangers of heart disease, coming up in Health Smart.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wannabe Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at an air temperature of 89 degrees, almost 90. Now, it'll be 90 before the show is over, I'm sure. Dew point value coming in at 76. And we've got a little bit of cloud cover out there. We're still dry aloft. The clouds that are going to form here are kind of flat clouds. But it is an indication that we are starting the process of moistening our atmosphere once again. And as we head into, I think, the next couple of days, we're going to see more and more cloud cover around. So the forecast for the eclipse coming on Monday, I think we'll have to be watching the sun between banks of clouds. I think that's the way it's going to work out. 91 in Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca, 90 in Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, 91 in Punta Gorda, 90 in Inglewood, Venice, and 92 in Northport. 89 degrees in Sarasota, and Longboat Key coming in at 86 degrees. Now, showers starting to pop up in inland areas now. A few showers still in the process of decaying out in Gulf waters. You can almost make out the gyre here of these radar echoes. The high pressure ridge kind of located just a little bit further north than it was 24 hours ago. And we have had kind of an easterly wind at a couple thousand feet above the ground, which has helped to steer some of these storms. Got a few showers popping up now around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor and a couple east of the interstate in Manatee around Parrish. But otherwise, things are pretty quiet across the region. Dry air indicated here by this tan contour in the process of kind of fading away, decaying away. The reason is that the low pressure area, the hurricane Gert, continues to drift further away from us. And as that happens, the dry air kind of surrounding it and being pushed back into our direction becomes less important to our forecast. High pressure begins to build in, the center of that high pressure ridge sinking a little further southward with time. Mostly dry, only isolated showers around because of that upper level dry air. Lots of sunshine mixed with a few fair weather clouds. And a very active tropics, by the way. It's really heating up. Of course, we have Gert continuing on a path that will take it away from the United States. It's probably going to strengthen for another day, and then it will start to kind of fall apart. And within a very brief period of time, a day or two, it will be nothing more than just a low pressure area. But it's still providing some high surf along the mid-Atlantic coastline. But out here in the far Atlantic, off the coast of Africa, we've got 1, 2, 3 little tropical waves, each of which has about a 40% chance of developing. Now we'll look at the first two. We don't have computer model runs yet being made on the one just coming off the coast of Africa. We will soon. But the two that are just out on the coast, the first one will probably be much lower than Cuba, and so we really won't worry about that one too much. This next one back behind it, if it does indeed develop, is starting to cluster around a forecast track that becomes more significant. and maybe into the Bahamas after about 5 days from now. So that's one we'll have to watch. It still has to make it through some dry air, and there could be some times when it has a difficult time and struggles to keep its organization. But if it does, it will be possibly in an interesting place about 5 days from now. So keep it in the back of your mind and keep updating the forecast and make sure you're on top of that. As we head into the week ahead, the First Alert weather forecast calls for increasing rain chances, especially as we head into next week. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Some sobering news for customers who use Obamacare. According to the Congressional Budget Office, if President Trump stops funding a key set of Obamacare subsidies, which he has said he might do, insurers would hike premiums on Obamacare Silver plans by 20% next year. Subsidies paid to insurance customers would also go up. The hike will cost taxpayers about $194 billion over a decade. The report comes as insurers look to finalize their Obamacare rates by the end of next month. Well, when it comes to health awareness, many women don't know their risk about breast, or they know their risk about breast and ovarian cancers, but many are still in the dark when it comes to heart disease. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women in the United States. And a new study found that more than 45% of women are unaware of the risks. When going to a doctor, most women are focused on reproductive health during childbearing years and neglect other health care needs. But there are important heart disease risk factors that every woman should know.
The #1 risk factor for heart disease is smoking. So if you're smoking, you need to quit. The other one is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and family history.
Heart disease can be prevented by eating well and exercising. Sports is coming up next, but first let's get over to the kitchen and check in for the first time today with ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher and see what she's cooking for us for lunch today. Hi, Judy.
Well, hi there, Scott. I am making simple pork medallions. We'll make a really nice mustard butter sauce with that, easy as pie. Grill up some peaches. It's a great way if you buy some peaches and you find out they're a little mealy, they're not those super juicy ones, to enjoy as it is. Put them on the griddle, just a tad of butter, and that's a delicious side. And we're serving this with a fennel apple slaw. Easy to make and good for a summer dish. I'll be back in a few minutes to start cooking.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Get the hottest deals of the year during the summer clearance event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or save big on a new sleek and stylish Jeep Cherokee for as little as $18,999. Drive off today for your next great adventure in a brand new Jeep Renegade for as low as $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today. Start your day with Ray, Jacqueline, and John, the new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Broadcaster's wife, the owner of a Connecticut restaurant, is being investigated in connection with the car crash that killed Catherine Berman, the wife of Chris Berman. She died this past May. Authorities are investigating whether the 67-year-old had been at a private event at the restaurant and if they could have been serving alcohol the day she died. The owner, though, says the restaurant is not open on Tuesdays, which was the day the crash took place. The Rays finally putting some offense together and getting a win last night in Toronto. Lucas Duda hit a 2-run homer. Wilson Ramos added a solo shot to help the Rays snap a 4-game losing skid. Backed by Tampa Bay's biggest offensive outburst since August 1st, Blake Snell pitched 6 innings to win for the first time this season. The Rays came in having scored just 12 runs in their past 10 games. And according to Elias, who keep track of all the numbers in baseball, this is the lowest total for any American League team over a 10-game stretch since the designated hitter was introduced in baseball back in 1973. But the Rays do win it last night, scoring 6 runs. They win it 6-4, and the same two will play again tonight in Toronto. Special Olympics Florida is getting ready to host its stand-up paddleboard championships on the Suncoast. About 150 athletes will compete at Nathan Benderson Park in Sarasota. It takes place next weekend, August 26th. The organization provides year-round sports training to kids and adults with special needs, and they do it for free. The Charlotte Stone Crabs earning a spot in the Hall of Fame. Crabs director Jordan Kobritz is among the inductees to the Florida State League Hall of Fame this year. Kobritz purchased the minor league team last August with fellow owner Lou Schweckheimer. He's also the liaison with the Florida State League and the Tampa Bay Rays. He was also the owner of the Daytona Cubs at one point. Kobritz will be inducted during a banquet in November in Clearwater. Back to the kitchen now to check in again with Chef Judy, who's cooking some delicious pork tenderloins for us today. Judy?
Thanks, Scott. Well, you know, it's also an inexpensive dish to make. So what I did is usually pork tenderloins come in 2 to a pack. So that's going to give you plenty of pork. I browned one off whole already because you can slice it after. But I find to do the medallions is not only does it cook faster and more evenly, but it just makes a nicer presentation because remember, we're going to use it with that apple fennel slaw that we're about to make. So I have some Vicks garlic rub that I get over at the St. Armand's Spice and Tea Exchange. It's yummy. Got a lot of flavor. I like the consistency of it. So we're going to get that on it. And then we won't need any more salt, but we will need some black pepper. So that will be perfect for here. Now we're going to brown these on each side. It's going to take about 4 minutes per side. Now remember, you really do want to make sure that pork is served medium rare medium. You don't have to worry about going well done like back in the day. So this probably has about 2 minutes to go on this side. Let's come over to the peaches for a minute. I have just a little butter on the grill, took the pits out, and as they start to griddle, you can feel this one still feels a little too hard. When they're starting to soften up, that's when you can turn them on their skin side. So that's going to get going. Now over here, I'm going to just take some olive oil and just a splash of fig vinegar and give that a good mix. That's going to be the base of our slaw. So I have sliced fennel, and now I have sliced apples. I always like using the Honeycrisp, or those are going out of season for a little bit. So the pink ladies are really nice, and I leave the skin on because it makes for a pretty presentation, but it's also healthy for you to get that roughage in. So we'll just toss this around and let that sit for a minute. And then we're going to add some sliced radishes. This is just a nice, fresh, clean bite. Now, if you don't eat meat, you can make this apple fennel slaw just as it is, add some orange segments, or if you wanted to even serve something like seared scallops with it, it would be terrific. So we're starting to get that nice brown sear that we're looking for. So when I come back, let's make the mustard sauce. finish up the apple fennel slaw, and we have a lunch ready for you.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Discover all the reasons the experts love Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Nobody beats Subaru in service quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALG named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Right now, lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Join the fun at the Weddings of Sarasota 17th Annual Wedding Show at the iconic Sarasota Municipal Auditorium on US 41. Sunday, August 27th from noon to 4. Enjoy food, fun, and entertainment with a runway show on stage at 3 p.m. $2,000 in Weddings of Sarasota dollars given out after the runway show. You must be present to win. Pre-register at weddingsofsarasota.com. Brides and grooms are free if registered by midnight on August 25th. Weddings of Sarasota. Register today.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Investigators in Washington, D.C. are trying to figure out who vandalized one of our national monuments. A photo released by the National Park Service shows an expletive followed by the word law scrawled onto the inside of the Lincoln Memorial. The vandalism took place early yesterday morning. Authorities say the message appears to attack law enforcement.
It's kind of disrespectful to all of American history. You know, a lot of people worked really hard to build this beautiful monument.
The monument's preservation crew is cleaning up that graffiti. This isn't the first time someone has vandalized the Lincoln Memorial. Last year, someone wrote on it with a black Sharpie marker, and green paint was splattered on it 4 years ago. Overnight, more Confederate monuments were removed in Baltimore. Workers removing the monument to Robert E. Lee and Thomas Stonewall Jackson. A monument dedicated to the Confederate women of Maryland was also taken down. And in Birmingham, Alabama, a Confederate soldiers and sailors memorial is covered up. According to Alabama law, the monument cannot be removed. The mayor ordered it to be hidden from view while the city looks at legal options to remove it. Hillsborough County officials are discussing moving a Confederate monument to a private cemetery days after the deadly events in Charlottesville, Virginia. County commissioners will get an update today on relocating the 106-year-old monument in downtown Tampa. The discussion comes as cities across the nation are reevaluating these statues on public property. Advocates of Southern heritage say removing these symbols is a disservice to the men who fought in the Civil War. Here at home, a Manatee County man is trying to replace a downtown Bradenton Confederate monument with a statue of Snooty the manatee. Anthony Pusateri has started a petition to remove the monument. It was erected by the United Daughters of the Confederacy back in 1924. Pusateri says he understands the historical significance, but feels the statue should be moved.
That at its very core said that black people are not equal to white people, that slavery is a good thing, and I'm not okay with that.
It being in front of a courthouse just should not be allowed at all.
So far, Pusateri's petition has more than 13,000 signatures. A follow-up now on the devastation in the West African nation of Sierra Leone. At least 300 people are dead and hundreds more are missing after a mudslide there. Video captures that mud tearing through the capital city streets and flooding shacks. The Red Cross has managed to rescue more than 70 people, but 700 more remain missing. New this afternoon, an incredible survival story. A young woman who went missing in the wilderness for nearly a month is finally found. ABC's Gio Benitez has the story and how she managed to stay alive for so long.
This is the face of a woman police say spent nearly a month lost in the woods, surviving off the land.
This area right here is where she came out of the woods.
Over the weekend, a driver spotting something moving in the bushes near the dense forest of Midland, Alabama. It was 25-year-old Lisa Theris alive. Here is a photo of her shortly before her disappearance. Quite a contrast to these photos from the hospital. Her skin brown from the sun, covered in bug bites and deep scratches. Police saying she lost 50 pounds in the wilderness. The radiology student telling police she survived by eating berries and wild mushrooms, drinking water from puddles.
The will to live, it changes your mindset on anything, you know. I wouldn't drink water out of that puddle right there now, but if that's all I had, I'd drink it.
Theris didn't have her phone or purse on her. Her family thought she was dead, including her own brother, shocked when he heard the news.
It's from my mom saying Lisa has been found alive.
Still this morning, questions about how she ended up alone in the woods in the first place. Police say around the time she disappeared, she was with two men who are now facing burglary charges for allegedly breaking into a hunting lodge in the wilderness and stealing $40,000 worth of property. Police say Theris told the men she did not want to be a part of it.
There's a whole lot more to this story. A whole lot more to this story. It's going to be sad and heartwarming at the same time. I mean, when the story is actually released.
Until then, a town just happy to have her back.
I've been doing this now going on almost 15 years, and I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing.
And she's home now, but her family says she's still in pain, still weak from walking in those dense forests just like these. And now those two men charged with burglary, they have been questioned about her ordeal. Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Further story there. First alert meteorologist John Scalzi joins us now. I guess when you're faced with that kind of situation, again, you do whatever you can to survive.
That's what they tell you to do.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
I'm glad she was found alive.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So another kind of dry day.
You know, it is. We need some rain. It's time to get a little bit of rainfall around here. A little rain in the rain bucket wouldn't help. We're down for the month. We're down for the year. So, you know, we could see the return to our typical summertime showers and thunderstorms. Get 2/3 of our rainfall in the rain bucket during the couple of 3 months of the rainy season. So, you know, hopefully it'll kick back in here by the end of the week. It'd be nice if it kicked in after the eclipse, though. That would be kind of nice. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion shows nice, beautiful blue skies to start off the morning. And then a few fair weather clouds start to build in. We will see better chances of rainfall today than we have seen over the last couple of days, but even so, our rain chance limited by the dry air aloft, really keeping us below the average for this time of year. We have some showers in progress now. Most of the activity will occur in inland areas, not near the coastline, and hopefully that'll change in the days ahead. We'll talk about that coming up in a few. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. In consumer news, Wells Fargo hiring a woman to lead the bank. Elizabeth Duke is now the first chairwoman to head a top U.S. bank. According to the Federal Reserve, Wells Fargo is the #2 bank in the U.S. by assets. It has also been scandal-ridden. Last September, the bank admitted it created some 2 million potentially fake accounts. And recently, Wells Fargo apologized for charging more than 500,000 customers for car insurance they didn't need. Duke will replace outgoing chairman Stephen Sagner on January 1st. Southwest Airlines does not assign seats. Instead, it gives travelers a boarding position based on check-in time. The airline's elite frequent flyers are all but guaranteed early boarding, but a computer glitch has left many of those flyers with higher numbers on their boarding passes. Southwest said its technology teams are working to resolve the issue, but did not provide a timetable for the fix. Travelers who purchased Southwest automatic early bird check-in option for $15 have not been affected by the glitch. Virtual reality training for new UPS drivers starting next month. The delivery company is adding new virtual reality tests to its driver training program. The trainees will experience trips around city environments and will have to identify hazards along the way. Drivers of UPS package delivery trucks spend a month in training. UPS hopes this new high-tech test will make drivers safer and smarter. A virtual reality test will also be used to train mechanics on how to service an engine. Well, many Suncoast teachers are paying out of pocket to have their classrooms ready for students. And while they receive some money from school districts, they often find themselves shelling out some big bucks. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter talked with some teachers here on the Suncoast to find out more about that struggle.
It takes money out of the teacher's pocket, and they do it because they love the children.
Imagine having to pay hundreds of dollars of your own money just to get your job done. Gabrielle O'Berry, school counselor at Garden Elementary in Venice, says that's what many teachers do to provide classroom essentials for their students.
If you talk to any teacher, you're going to hear I spend an extra $500 up to usually $1,000 per school year to really build their classroom and find those essential learning tools that enhance their teaching.
According to a 2013-14 study by the National School Supply and Equipment Association, 92% of teachers nationwide spend their own money on school supplies, adding up to $1.6 billion out of pocket. While there is some help from the Sarasota County School District, parent organizations, and the community, O'Berry and teachers alike say paying out of pocket is a selfless act.
Without all of these sources, you know, it would be difficult to really fully be able to provide all the things that children need today in our 21st century classrooms.
One Garden Elementary teacher says on top of the basic office and classroom supplies, they also have to keep students excited about learning.
Subscriptions to educational websites to help motivate the students in the classroom. I've purchased additional classroom incentives. So when they're working really hard in the classroom and they're doing well behaviorally, there's just that extra incentive to help them work towards.
And for parents, they see the struggles their kids' teachers are facing.
I feel really bad that it's gotten to the point where teachers are spending their own money, because we all know teachers are not getting paid enough. However, we can all do our part to help. And so we always buy that extra box of pencils, that extra composition book.
Despite the financial obstacles ahead, neither teacher is complaining, saying they love what they do.
Whatever they can do to make sure those children get the education that they deserve.
We really want the best for our children. We love them. We want to see them actively engaged in learning, having fun, and just looking forward to coming to school.
In Venice, Jacqueline Matter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Jacqueline, thanks so much. Let's get back over to the kitchen now and check in on lunch with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Hi, Judy.
Hey there, Scott. So I've taken the pork medallions out of the pan. Usually they go in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 more minutes. That'll make sure that you have that outside, you've got the sear on it, but it'll bring it just up to a medium to medium rare, which is what we have. Now we're gonna lower the heat of the pan and we're gonna add apple cider. If you don't have apple cider, you can certainly use apple juice. Just make sure that it's the unfiltered and not sweetened juice. So we're gonna let that break down a little bit. I had a little shallots in the bottom of the pan, just about a tablespoon is enough. And then we're gonna do a spoonful of grain mustard, which I love because it really, that means it still has the mustard seeds in it. And we're gonna do some Dijon. And then we're gonna get a little taste just before we start to incorporate the butter to see, I wanna make sure that there's enough as it reduces of the mustard without it being too overpowering. So, quick taste. Yeah, that's coming together really, really well. Still sweet, from the cider, so I'm going to add just another pinch of the grain mustard. Now we're going to bring the heat up a little bit. And as the sauce reduces, because we're going to reduce this by about half, is now it's time to add butter, because everything tastes better with butter. So there we go. We'll just whisk that in. You want to be careful not to boil this, because the butter, as it's being added, can break. This is not the type of sauce that you have to have cold butter. In fact, I have it a little bit softened already. And you can see how it's reducing down? So you can see that in another 5 minutes, ooh, that's going to be great. So let me put that heat down a little bit since it's all blended together. I'll keep an eye, move around with the fork. Let's come back to the slaw. We have the olive oil. We have a little bit of fig balsamic. You can just go with the olive oil, and then you can do a pinch of lemon juice. Remember, if you are cutting the apples or the fennel early, stick them in a bowl of ice water with a little lemon juice, and that will hold it. All we have to do now is season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Our grilled peaches are coming out of the pan, and then we're going to add the pork tenderloin and the sauce, and lunch is ready. We'll come back for a taste in just a few minutes.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com, AndServices.com.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabein.com.
No theater lover's bucket list is complete without the classic black comedy Arsenic and Old Lace. Two adorable old ladies who just happen to poison their tenants and bury them in their basement. Fun and farcical, this hilarious play is heating up the summer at the Players Center from August 9th through the 20th. Call 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll die laughing when you see Arsenic and Old Lace.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com, AndServices.com.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Pleasant conditions outside. Laura sent in this photo of sunrise over Bradenton. Beautiful shot there. I love the way the sunrise colors reflect in the water. Really pretty shot. Thank you. Send them in to me at John Scalzi, ABC7. That's my Facebook page, John Scalzi, ABC7. And try to get them on the air for you. Particularly like those sunrise shots. Current conditions, well, warm. 89 degrees current air temperature. We have a mix of sun and clouds out there. Dew point value coming in at 76, making it feel kind of steamy. Southwest wind has developed at the surface, and we've got some showers in progress. The heaviest of the rain is going to fall inland, but they will be slow-moving showers. So it's quite possible that when these showers build in inland areas, some of the storm motion could get just a little bit erratic because the steering currents today are lighter. We're sort of in the process of moving to a more typical summertime pattern, and today the wind flow is a little lighter than we have seen. So inland showers mostly, but a few of them might make their way back toward the coastline, possibly late in the day. They should probably die out before they ever make it right to the immediate coast, and then by morning tomorrow we may see a few more begin to build right along the coastline. So Bradenton seeing a few, Perry seeing a few, down around Charlotte Harbor, we're seeing a few showers there too. There's the high pressure ridge, the axis of which is basically just a little bit to our north. GERT continues to move away from the United States, strengthening as it does so. High pressure for us remains the dominant weather feature. And we have a atmosphere that's slowly beginning to moisten, and a high pressure ridge which will slowly start to reorient itself back to the west. And those things together should help produce more typical summertime weather. But for today, mostly dry along the coastline with more showers in inland areas. Lots of sunshine, and then that active tropics. And again, we have 3 systems that we're continuing to watch. Well, 4 if you call GERT, but GERT, as I mentioned, is on its way to the cold waters of the Labrador. This first system right here will probably move into the Caribbean, and at that point it will probably be torn apart. The Caribbean, very hostile to tropical storms, kind of a tropical graveyard in the openings of the Caribbean. The 2 systems back behind it both have reasonable chances of developing. We'll wait for that. Northwest wind at about 10 knots and 2-foot seas with a light chop. So a nice day for boating, and there shouldn't be too much in the way of rainstorms around. A 7:20 high tide, a low tide at 4:09, and another high tide at 10:49. Here's the solar eclipse forecast. Of course, it's still days away, so there's time to refine. But with an 80% coverage of the sun, I expect to see partly cloudy skies during eclipse day, and probably building to, at the time the eclipse just about over at 4 p.m., we'll see mostly cloudy skies. So we'll be refining that forecast as we go along. 50% chance of rain on that day, by the way. Daytime high comes in the 90s for the next several days. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. She's a woman who has devoted years to the American Cancer Society. ABC 7's Linda Carson has the story in today's Amazing Suncoast Woman.
After 20 years of heading up the local division of the American Cancer Society, Cynthia Dunlap is leaving. Friends, co-workers, and volunteers gathered on her last day to wish her well. Cynthia hopes to find a job near her family.
Originally, I'm from New Brunswick, Canada, and my family is a blended family of 6 and 3. And when my mom married my stepdad, we moved to Philadelphia.
She graduated from the University of Richmond.
First job out of college was I moved to Boston and was working in a restaurant while looking for a job in nonprofit. And just quickly got sort of sucked into the restaurant environment, became an assistant general manager and then a general manager, and ran that for 13 years.
Her husband's elderly parents were in Sarasota, so they moved here, then visited her parents.
We went back up for their 25th anniversary, came back down here. My mom called and said, Dad has cancer.
He died a few days later. She returned to help her mom.
I was helping her get her things in order, and the American Cancer Society called our house in Sarasota, and then they called me up in Canada and said, we'd like you to come in for an interview.
A few years later, cancer struck her husband, Scott. At first, they thought he had a cold.
It lasted for probably about 6 weeks, and then he went to an ENT, and so they, scoped down his throat, and it was just like, you have cancer.
After surgery, radiation, and chemo, Scott's okay, but it certainly fueled her fight against cancer. Her proudest achievement, raising money for cancer research, being a part of the American Cancer Prevention Study, and the role the Suncoast played in that study.
We're the top in the whole state for enrollees.
But her position has been eliminated.
We're consolidating our efforts. We're eliminating some positions to not be duplicating what people are doing. And for me, that's, I was impacted by it.
She's determined to find a new job she is passionate about.
I want to find something that resonates with me just as much as the American Cancer Study has and still will.
And her life lesson?
Be slow to judge people and be quick to be kind to people.
Over the past 20 years, Cynthia Dunlap has done everything possible to help everyone here on the Suncoast who got cancer and their family. And she's worked tirelessly to raise money to find a cure and a prevention for this disease. Cynthia, we wish you every joy and every success on your new journey. Linda Carson, ABC 7 for Suncoast News.
All right, Linda, thank you so much. When we come back, we're going to wrap up lunch with Chef Judy, and it has been 40 years since his death. But if you ask some people, Elvis is still the king. That's next in Entertainment News.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice: choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
As a singer-songwriter, it's all about creating high-performance art that moves people. Same is true in making gorgeous cars. Fiat designs it. You're the artist.
Choose your palette just about any color combo inside out. No small wonder, state-of-the-art style Fiat.
Now this moves me. Oh, they're playing my song.
Let the art of Fiat move you at Fiat of Sarasota.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice: choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Here you go, John.
So good, so good. This is delicious, Judy.
Good, and really easy and an inexpensive dish to make. Now what I do is I save the top parts of the fennel because that'll go in for a soup or something like fantastic. You can roast it in the oven, get it all caramelized, the fennel, so that's a balance. You have the apple fennel salad, grilled peaches, and of course the mustard butter sauce for the tenderloin. Super easy.
Perfect, and the fruits really with the pork, just, I mean,
yeah,
it just
I
goes
like
together
that
so
balance
well.
with all of them.
Perfect.
So,
on our website, mysuncoast.com, click on the dining link page.
Thank you, and you can enter to win a $50 gift card from one of our great restaurant partners.
Hot dog.
Scott, we're going to send it back to you.
Thank you both. 40 years ago today, the king of rock and roll died. Fans are remembering Elvis Presley on the anniversary of his death. Hundreds are in Graceland this week to pay their respects for Elvis Week. A memorial service and concert is taking place today. Elvis was only 42 years old when he died of a heart attack on August 16th, 1977.
His legacy still lives on, and that's why he's the king. It's something that you can't explain in words.
Some are not happy about a new change this year at Graceland. For the first time, fans are being charged $30 to see his grave. Dolly Parton releasing her first ever children's album, I Believe in You, will feature sing-alongs for kids. It will be released in October. All sales will benefit Parton's program, Imagination Library. which gives free books to children once a month. Parton says she's getting old, and making the album had her going back to her second childhood. Lionel Richie will be dancing on the Las Vegas Strip. The 68-year-old singer has signed on for a performance residency at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Richie's 14-night run will kick off in late November. And this is great news. Daniel Craig is coming back. The actor will play James Bond one last time. The 49-year-old delaying his retirement as 007 and will play the British agent in the franchise's next film. Craig made his Bond debut in Casino Royale back in 2006. Some critics believe he's the best actor to ever play the role. The new Bond film is due out sometime in 2019. Craig says this is definitely his last time playing the character, and he's hoping to go out on a high note.
Unless there's another wheelbarrow full of money.
Exactly. Right. I don't know.
Wasn't last time his absolute last time? There was no possible.
And a martini shaken, not stirred.
That's
Isn't
right.
that how it goes?
Yep.
I love him as Bond. I think he brings a whole new element to the character that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, he was definitely the best since Sean Connery.
I agree. Yeah.
Sean Connery was by far, I think, personally, the best.
Hello, Money Penny.
That's right.
Yeah. Very good, gentlemen.
James Bond.
All right.
Lovely weather today. Again, less than average rain chances at about 30%. Maybe a few of the storms might try to work their way back to the coast, dying out as they do so. Tomorrow morning, maybe a few scattered showers near the coast.
Okay, John, thank you. Judy,
Thank
you so much. Have a great day ahead. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock.
The Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio charmed us all and crippled the competition. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.